Now, we know that God doesn't want it to be like this. 1 Timothy chapter 2, God wills the whole human race be saved and come to a knowledge of the truth. We also know that Jesus isn't happy about this, saying they're getting what they deserve. He's weeping. He's weeping that so many are on the path to destruction. He's weeping over souls that are being lost. When he's on the hill over Jerusalem, he's weeping because his own people are missing their opportunity. And he knows that that's going to cause destruction in this life and the possibility of eternal destruction. And the Roman armies arrived 27 years later and ripped Jerusalem apart. And of course, the prophecies about the destruction of Jerusalem are intermingled with prophecies about the final judgment. And judgments in history are foreshadowings of the final judgment where the holiness of God will be manifested and God will not be mocked, and there'll be a final judgment. And this text from Matthew about the broad way and the narrow way isn't an isolated text in Scripture. It's a fundamental theme of the entire Bible from the beginning to the end. It's about making the right choice before God. It started in the garden. Hey, you can have all of this, but don't go there. You're going to die. They went there and died. Or Moses in his parting speech. Today I place before you two ways, two choices, two decisions. If you choose this way, it'll be life for you. If you choose this way, it'll be death. Thomas Aquinas, when he's offering a commentary on the crucifixion, says we already see on the hill of Calvary a foreshadowing of the separation of the human race. One thief humbles himself and recognizes the holiness and innocence of Jesus, and Jesus turns to that thief and says, "Today you will be with me in paradise." The other thief mocked and blasphemed and cynically rejected, closing himself to the holiness and the chance of salvation that was suffering love right next to him. Thomas says this is foreshadowing the final judgment. How many parables did Jesus tell us about the weeds and the wheat? How many times did he tell us that not everybody says, "Lord, Lord," is going to get into the kingdom? How many times did he tell us that it's going to be too late if you wait till the last minute, if you don't have oil in your lamp? How many times did it say, "Stay awake because the Master's coming at an hour you do not expect"? How many times did he tell us how exactly it's going to happen? He says, "The Son of Man will return at a time that you don't expect, just as it was in the day of Noah. So will it be when the Son of Man returns." People will be eating and drinking and buying and selling, marrying and giving in marriage until the flood came and destroyed them all. People will be indifferent about the things of God. People will mock the prophetic word of warning. It's so clear and it's so repeated. From the first book of the Bible to the last book of the Bible, Christianity isn't a game. The death of Christ isn't an optional extra. The death of Christ and the resurrection of Christ is our only hope.